Hi, I'm V.
And I'm T.
And this is VT
VT
Reviews. Okay, so we just watched Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. So we downloaded this one. Don't judge us, but we downloaded a dodgy cam rip because...
Basically, it came out last week, and nowadays it's only playing in the middle of the day, and we work, so we couldn't see it. We had to do the illegal
And
part.
we can't do, like, no free tickets, and we both have a free ticket at the moment. And we don't want to pay for this movie, and rightly so.
Because...
It's boring.
It's boring. It makes the worst movie ever in that it's boring.
Like, we're big fans of bad movies. Like, we will outright admit we go see every dance movie on the planet.
Two-headed shark attack.
We'll watch any bad horror movie. Like, and we've got a pretty high tolerance for crap movies. But this one was just boring.
Yeah.
So boring.
It was bad. Sure, it didn't have a great storyline, and the actors were shit. Even though they've been good in other things.
But it wasn't even funny. Like, if you're watching a bad movie but it's, like, laughable, that to me is enjoyable. I'm going to give this one a thumbs down. I rarely give a thumbs down, but I'm giving this one a thumbs down. Because it was just boring is how I'm going to sum it up. Like, we paused at, 40 minutes in to see how long we'd been watching this movie?
Because it felt like we were at the end. And we weren't.
We were
halfway.
And the climax was happening in the middle of the movie. And then it was like we watched the
another
sequel
movie
to that. Yeah. With another climax.
Boring climax.
With the same boring characters.
Characters that I didn't care about at all.
Not at all.
Apart from the troll.
Yeah, I read a review that was like, they should make a sequel for the troll. And I'd be like, yeah, I'd watch that. That was pretty cool.
I will say something about the troll. It looked like, when he was just in the shot, it looked like actual physical effects, which no one really does anymore.
Yeah, like prosthetics rather than just...
Yeah, some of it was, he was digitally 3D shit, but some of it was prosthetics, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that was pretty much the only thing I can say for this movie.
In favour of him. So we have, I mean, aside from the fact that it's boring, we have a few more gripes. So, hillbillies.
Yeah, I don't think that's a Germanic term.
No. But that's another thing in itself. Like, Hansel and Gretel it's a German.
I think it's German.
I thought it was. Like, Hansel. That's
Hansel.
Gretel. That's and gingerbread, isn't that German? But they're very clearly American, and then they're talking to someone in the first scene, and he's very clearly Swedish. So I was a little unclear on
where we were.
Yeah, and then at the end they're in the desert, so I don't know where we're meant to be.
I really don't know where they were in the desert.
So we don't think hillbillies is a Germanic word. We don't even think they're German.
It's lies.
An interesting thing was, because Hansel and Gretel were taken by the witch and the witch fed Hansel, like, sweets to fatten him up, he became a diabetic when he got older. But they don't explain that. They just sort of show him injecting himself with something.
Injecting. You heard that right. Injecting.
But, no.
It's the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Maybe they discovered insulin.
Maybe. They made their own electricity, so, you know.
It's not like they were any good at witch hunting.
No.
So maybe they were actually scientists.
Yeah, the only proof we have that they were any good was this little fanboy that was like, had a scrapbook of all of their like notices in the newspaper.
Where they'd killed witches.
That is the only way we realised that they were like these renowned witch hunters, because every scene we saw, they were getting their asses kicked, like handed to them.
Especially Gretel. Gretel can't do anything.
No. She was so crap.
I think we counted up to 5 times she was saved by somebody else. And
like 4 times by the troll.
Yeah, was by the troll.
So it does have 2 really, I mean, I think I've seen her in something before, but I'm not sure. But Jeremy Renner
was a good actor. He is a good actor.
It's like he did The Town and then The Avengers and then just went, oh, Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, that seems like a really good thing to do.
Yeah, that seems like I can really put a lot of effort into that movie.
And he also looked
meandering.
really old compared to her. I mean, she probably just looks really young as well. Gemma Arterton. Whatever.
Gemma, we don't have to remember her name. She won't be in my shells.
Gemma, after you've done this, you've ruined your career. You're never going to do anything else worth talking about ever. But I do know, according to Daily Mail, you've broken up with your husband, and that's why you look sad all the time. But I actually think it's because you're in this movie and you know that this is the end of the line. But
Prove us wrong, Gemma.
Be in something awesome. Do you know what you should be a part of? The Hunger Games. That'll boost you right back up. Mockingjay's coming out. It's going to be 2 movies. There are heaps of people you could be in Mockingjay. So, yeah, Jeremy Renner was really not that good in it.
No.
And looks really old.
It was
Really
I mean,
old.
when the movie opens, you sort of laugh because the acting's pretty... It's earnest, but it's still bad. Like, bad direction, I don't know. But then you get over that really quickly and you're like, yeah, this is just bad.
And boring.
Boring and bad. Not even, like hilariously bad acting that you can get sometimes in movies, which is fun to watch. Just bad.
Just bad in general.
Just flat and bad and
Do
boring.
you know who was trying, though? Famke Janssen, who plays, like, the main antagonist.
She was trying.
She was really trying to save this movie.
I felt bad for her.
I mean, she did X-Men, and she did, like that movie with Owen Wilson and Eddie Murphy? Rushmore. Was
she in that?
Yeah. So she did that, and she did X-Men. And then I hadn't seen her in anything for ages, because when she popped up, like, when I saw her name on it,
Famke.
I was like, oh, man, how did you must really need to work. I mean, Gwyneth Paltrow said that she has made money, like, she's made movies for money, and she's made movies because she loved the script. This is clearly one that they were all doing for money.
Yeah. This is an MTV production as well.
And Will Ferrell produced it.
With no music in it. I mean, they usually have music in it, don't they?
They had music, didn't they?
They had background music, but not like...
Yeah, that's true.
It wasn't like a point of the story.
That's true. But there wasn't really a point of that story.
That's true.
They
couldn't think of how to score it because they didn't know what the fuck was going on. They were just useless.
They were terrible. They were really terrible. And
they were the worst witch hunters I've ever seen.
Spoiler alert, Hansel and Gretel win. Through no help of their own.
No.
They were shit.
Pretty much every other character just dragged them along to victory.
Yeah.
The troll,
The troll. The fanboy, whose name I don't even know.
The other witch, she helps them a couple of times. She heals Hansel after he gets a mortal wound.
Yeah, but can't heal herself. And then
They're just weak.
Then has sex with him in a stream.
And I think I saw nipple.
Yeah, we think we saw nipple, but we're not sure. So if anyone has gone to see this movie at the movies, let us know down below.
Yeah. Because we're watching a cam rip, so...
So it could have been like the light or something, but it was exactly where her nipple would have been, and it was like a circle, so it did look like an areola.
It really did.
I was convinced it was, but then I'm like, no, it probably wasn't. And also, the way they kept saying Hansel's name, but it could have been the bad quality we had, it sounded like arsehole. And then we started calling them arsehole and useless because Gretel is useless.
She's fucking useless. And then they keep leading up to the fact that she's a witch, and then she doesn't do anything with that. And they just walk off into the desert.
But she picks up a wand, and I thought we were going to be like...
Yeah, like she was finally going to like whip out some magic, which because they've been talking about cutting out her heart because she's
the daughter of like
witch?
The most powerful white witch who still succumbed to being burnt, so she's not that powerful.
She's useless.
Everyone in the Hansel and Gretel family, I don't even know what their last name is, useless.
Useless.
They're so bad.
Useless.
They were so bad. And also, when the witches were in full makeup, you didn't know if they were men or women. Like the really old ones. Like Famke Janssen, you can tell because they sort of tried to make her a pretty ugly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does to me.
But the rest of them, like there was one dude the whole time.
I have no idea what was going on with that character.
Because it had short hair too. But then I don't know, it was just really confusing to me.
But all the rest of them were women, except for one man at the end, possibly was a man.
But I don't know, because the first witch looked like a man. Because you said, is that a man or a woman? And I'm like, no, I think it's a woman. So I think we were back in that situation. But that also could have been because we had a dodgy cam rip. So
that's true, it could be that. It just maybe could be that. That doesn't really excuse the writing.
No, it doesn't. Because I feel like if you're going to do a sequel of Hansel and Gretel being witch hunters, you could actually do quite a lot with it. Like, they could not be useless for one point. But
They're not getting a sequel.
I was having a real, like, I was struggling to believe that any of what they were doing was happening.
I was struggling to keep my eyes open.
Anyway, Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel is a big thumbs down.
Thumbs down. It's not even a fun romp.
It's not a fun romp at all. It's a boring way through the swamp.
On a scale of boring to fun romp, it's like past boring.
It's past boring. It's
like
more like you want to turn it off, and I rarely ever want to turn a movie off.
Like, okay, if you needed to fall asleep or like needed to be put under anesthetic for like an operation, you don't even need to. You could just watch this movie. It's so boring.
Don't go see it.
Yeah, so we're actually going to say don't see it, just save yourself the trouble. Don't even download it. Don't even hire it.
It's not fun.
It's
a slog.
It's so
a hard
boring.
slog.
I mean, if anyone disagrees, if you've gone to see it and you liked it, put it in the comments, because we want to know, were we missing like the ironic twist or anything? Did we just somehow skip over that? Because I don't think we did. I think it was just boring. I think it was just boring and badly written.
Same. And
actually,
badly acted and badly directed.
I would be interested to see the Asylum's version. The Asylum are the people that do Two-Handed Shark Attack.
Yeah, that would probably be more interesting.
They brought out a Hansel and Gretel at the same time. So maybe I'll download that and then we'll review that and probably get thumbs up. That'll probably be a fun romp.
We have plans.
Alright.
For Hansel and Gretel.
We are also we're really late on this one, but we're going to review Journey to the Mysterious Island, Journey 2. Because we watched that the other week, and that is a fun romp. And I'm a big fan of any movie that Josh Hutcherson and Vanessa Hudgens are in, and Michael Caine, I suppose, and The Rock.
The Rock? Rock's great.
And that guy that you like, whose name I can't remember.
I can't remember right now.
But it has a great cast. And tiny elephants. And Josh Hutcherson. Like, if you don't like Josh Hutcherson, you can get out. He's Peter the Lark. Don't leave. You have to love him.